announcement before we begin. Inshallah ta'ala, anybody with children, if you could just keep them around you. We just don't want any incidences to happen, and they have to actually be in the process of kind of like regulating people. Inshallah ta'ala, so any children, inshallah ta'ala, if you could just keep them around you just for the safety of everybody in the masjid, inshallah ta'ala. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته وَلَا تَمُوتُونَ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And about truly our praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him. We praise Him and we seek His assistance. And we seek His beautiful forgiveness that's covered with love, that's covered with healing, that's covered with openings to a new time and a new place and a new space within inside of ourselves. Sometimes when we get ourselves into situations that we regret, that point of regret is actually a place of upliftment and possibility and change. So we seek His beautiful forgiveness, and we seek also too the beautiful belief. We put this trust and this belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This beautiful thing that He has already formed our souls and our whole life existence with to reflect His oneness. So we believe in Him and we put our trust and dependency upon Him in every single matter. And we seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evils of our own impulses. Sometimes when our impulse is untrained, unrefined, and it reflects almost animalistic tendencies because we haven't cultivated the humanity within inside of ourselves in a certain point or a certain place. So we seek refuge in Allah from those impulses. And also too, we seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they actually become action, when they actually manifest into our life in a certain shape or form, a certain speech, a certain situation or circumstance, a certain thought that actually comes out of our mouth and enters the heart of another person and begins to affect that person. We seek refuge from Allah when it actually becomes action. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to guide, nobody can lead them astray, and whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows to go down the path of misguidance, Because ultimately that's what they choose. Nobody can bring them back. And we are witnessing within inside of our lives, inside of this present moment, within inside the past, the present, and the future, within inside of this world and the hereafter, that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, the one with no partner, the one who makes everything uniquely interconnected, the one who shines a uniqueness in each individual within this room today. And at some level we're interconnected. At some level we begin to exchange what they call the banquets of the soul. We have this exchange of this spiritual provision between us, whether it be through a smile, whether it be through a handshake, whether it be through us, inshallah ta'ala, making it to Ramadan and breaking fast together. Whether it be that we have the same initiative and the same want and drive to extend good into others and to humanity as a whole. So we're witnessing that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and we're witnessing that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his servant, his messenger, and may peace and blessings be upon him, his family, his companions, and you, my dear brothers and sisters. As we hear time and time again throughout Jumah, all throughout the world, all you who have attained faith, be conscious of Allah, which is who do right, and do not die, do not leave this world except in a state of actively submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Being a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, one of the things we have come upon a new year, a Judean calendar year, I should say, because the Islamic New Year is a little bit different. But nonetheless, we're in a time where people are beginning to renew their intentions. They're beginning to have a purpose. You know, one of the things that builds a powerful community is actually having a purpose. And the beautiful thing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a purpose already. And have given us something to build community and to build generations and to build legacy. So as the world is in kind of this wave of beginning to, New Year's resolutions, and everybody, the gym memberships are at an all-time high right now. You probably can get a great special at Planet Fitness if you want to keep it real cheap, and then if you want to go higher, you can go to Equinox. There's a great thing going on now. Right? And for us as Muslims, we should definitely always take every moment inside of ourselves to actually check what's our purpose and what we're driven by. What's the goal and what's the reality behind what we're doing? Where are we going on this journey of life? Are we just wandering inside of ourselves? Because this internal decision that you make before the actual action comes out is one of the most important and will ultimately lead to you realizing something powerful. This decision that you make prior to the actual speech, prior to the actual action, prior to the actual interaction, in whatever situation you may be in, is one of the most important, because this either connects you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the infinite, the divine, and allows things to come forth through you, or it cuts you off because you're only temporarily connected to some materialistic reality. This is one of the most important, and we forget about this point. Then inside of the intention, if it's sincere and it's unadulterated and it's connected to only seeking the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there's different levels. Sometimes you can seek the face of Allah, but you have other ulterior motives involved with it. It takes away the purity of the essence of it. And so today I want to talk about just a little bit of some of the importance of having, number one, an intention, but also a pure intention, and then some of the benefits when one gets into this about how you reflect upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within the intention and when it begins to manifest. Because this is the most important thing, because again, as we go back to the previous talks, some of the reason why there was a series of khutbahs is because we have to begin to understand that all our power and our faith ultimately comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we spoke about this in the previous khutbahs about even when you get to your own thoughts, where do they come from? How does Allah put them all together? How am I even speaking right now to you about this matter? Is it ultimately my power and my strength? No. It's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you heard the Khatib say, whatever good you hear from me, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever bad you hear from me, it's from my own self. That's a very real statement. That if your ego and your own egocentricity is involved in you, that it's about me, I, well, that's going to manifest itself at some point. And when it is centered upon that in your life, there's going to be hell to pay, as they say. That's what starts happening. You become your own God. And it happens in subtle ways, sometimes in very blatant ways. Not to say that we're actually intentionally doing that, but sometimes we think we have power, we have strength, we have this, we have that. Allah's given that to us as a loan. And as we understand the loan, it's just like if any one of you rent a car here. When you rent a car, you might want to put the extra insurance on it sometimes, right? You might want to put that extra security, that extra thing on it, right? You do that. We do that, right? Even though, like you said, I mean, you search insurance in Islam. That's a whole other topic. But you want some safety, you want some security. And if it's low, you don't want to have any situation where you dig up the car, because now they take pictures, right? When you do, they take pictures of different things, right? And they see if you dig it up or not. And then you have to pay for that. And that's the reality of our soul. Because sometimes there's certain things that we put on inside of our soul, and it begins to be an issue. So again, the intention, going back to Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, going back to purifying the intention and having a pure intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له دين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says basically that they were not commanded except to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being sincere to Him in the deen. Of the sincerity, the sincere ones, the deen is for the sincere ones. Pure and unadulterated, just pure tawheed. And to perform the prayer, which is ultimately the prayer again, is the connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And our prayer, yes, is formally 5 times a day, but that has to translate into everything that we do. And then also to give out of zakat. And one of the beautiful things that the Prophet ﷺ said is that the upper hand is better than the lower hand. Right? And I'm just translating. Now, sometimes we misconstrue it. We think that the giving one is better than the receiving one. But when you take a look at it, right? He's saying the upper hand is better than the lower hand. So our misconception of thinking sometimes that when we're helping somebody, that they're actually in a worse situation than us. Actually, they're the gift to you. And if you see them as a strength, you see them as a difference, then the whole thing switches around. That's why the Prophet ﷺ was able to empower people that people had forsaken. That's why he was able to uplift one prostitute and make them leaders that you love, that you reflect upon now and you take guidance from. That's a big difference in how we look at how we give. They really giving you. And zakat purifies your wealth. And your wealth is what's in here. Your wealth is not what Allah puts in your hand to give. But your wealth is inside the heart. So again, the upper hand is better than the lower. Change how we perceive things, because sometimes people don't know that interpretation of the hadith. Of how you perceive things, right? So the intention. So, the Prophet ﷺ tells us also too, in a very famous hadith that we all know, Allah Ta'ala, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَلُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَىٰ فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِلدُّنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ امْرَأَةٍ يَنكِحُهَا فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَّا مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. And the Prophet speaks the truth. Really, actions are judged by intention. You get what you intend. And whoever has made migration to Allah and His Messenger has truly migrated to Allah and His Messenger, or will find that migration. And whoever has made migration for some type of dunya, or to marry somebody, or to get into some type of relationship, well, then they will get what they intend. So again, any intent, again, to make it very simple, because this can be a very lengthy subject, is that begin the process of going beyond just the immediate outcome and go directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have an intention going forward this year, begin to place it to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the things that they say is that sincerity and a purity of intention. Without this noble quality, man is unable to advance towards his Lord or live a life in harmony with creation. Or, yes, you say humankind, not just man. With it, they are able or is able to transfer great distances and attain great heights of knowledge. The core of Ikhlas is the purification of the intention to the highest degree. It is the eye of the intention. A person must entrust that his sincerity is only directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first and foremost, anything that you do, I don't care if you sit down today to listen to the khutbah. Did you come here out of culture, and because this is what your father or mother did, or this is what you're just used to doing on Friday, or did you actually have a direct intention when you came in here? The Prophet ﷺ told us, أَلَمْ نَفْتَحْ أَبْوَابَ رَحْمَاتِكَ. Oh Allah, open up for us, open up for me, the gates of your mercy. When you walk into the masjid, that you even understand this first and foremost, having the intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts you here, I gave him mercy for you. That you came here just to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first thing. Did you just come here for that? What was your intention really walking behind the door? Was it just to have a lunch break? Because that's a possibility until you get what you get. Or is it actually to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did you intend when you came to the door to leave all your problems behind, all the wrong deeds that you may have, no matter what they may have been, and to come into the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in totality? That's the first thing, but just checking your attention. And when you leave here, again, this is the first place that we can implement it. Allahumma inna asaluka min fadlika. Oh Allah, I ask of you. Allahumma inni asaluka min fadlika. Oh Allah, I ask of you from your fadl, from your virtue that we don't even deserve, from the reality of the graces of your bounty to come into my life. Right? Because the Prophet is teaching us, even in the places when we walk into the masjid, that everything is coming from Allah, that it's Allah who remembered you first to even come here today. So again, the power of intention, when you begin to just remember these subtle points, brings all types of things into your life. One of the things they say that is truthfulness is the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is never put on anything, but it cuts through it. So aligning yourself with truth, aligning yourself with Allah and His Messenger from Islam, and having that purity of intention in whatever that you do, that you're just trying to get closer to understanding Allah in the situation. Just trying to be the best individual that you possibly can be. And that will open up the floodgates of different things, inshallah ta'ala. Another thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروني ولا تكفرون. It's a very, very well-known verse of the Quran. Remember me, and I will remember you. And don't be like, and be grateful to me, and do not be ungrateful. The word for ungratefulness is takfurun, right? Don't be ungrateful, but please don't be ungrateful to me. It's a covering. To be a bit like the use kafir, right, as disbelievers. The reality of it is that it's a covering. That's ultimately that you're covering up truth. One of the things when you go to any study of human beings, right, when it comes to belief in God, they actually analyze through different studies that to actually disbelieve in God is something that you actually have to work on. You actually have to go against all of the programming that's already in you. You have to go totally against it. You have to put yourself into it. That's covering. So even in the subtleties of our intention, we don't want to cover things. Because the blessings that flow in, you're missing when you cover. And you're only, it's like shooting for the star, but you hit the chandelier here. And so you just, instead of going for the star that's going to give you the light, you want to hit the chandelier. You only go to the chandelier. I know we're just going to stop. So don't do that to yourself. You're selling yourself short. That's a light that's derived from another place. You want to go to the source. Don't sell yourself short. Because even in your constrictions, even in you don't understand, even in some of the things, the discrepancies and the problems that you have with people, there's actually a profound learning that happens from it. But if you have a sincere intention, if you begin to obey Allah and His Messenger, you'll find that. You'll find the situation changed. And this has happened historically for us, and you can talk about it in your life altogether. Some of the subtle points that I want to point out are some of the scholars mentioned about this ayah. Remember me and I will remember you. And be grateful to me. Open yourself up to gratitude. Open yourself up to attaching your beautiful intention to me. This is kind of like some of the spiritual meanings behind some of this. And don't be ungrateful. Don't turn away. Don't cover it up. Don't do that. These are the things that happen. So number one, remember this again. When you open up your intention, depending on what it is. Now let's go from the bottom part. Let's say that your intention is materialism. Your intention is egocentricity. It's just about you. There's going to be certain things that manifest in your life from that. Just be very clear. If it's only attached to that, if it's just about about me, I with my occupation, with what I do, and I need to do this for just me and my family and this and that. That's one level. Yes, you are doing your family, but ask yourself really truly, is it just really about you, your name, your fame, and what you want to do? Are you going outside of that? Because that's where the gift really comes. Not to say that you don't realize that you don't have to, be organized in how you do things and be studious and all these different things. But again, are you thinking outside of self? That's a question that one has to ask. Right? And so this is what manifests. This is what Ibn al-Salah, Rahimahullah says, which is very important. He says, number one, well, not number one. I think he goes in a different order. I'm going to go from the bottom. About this belief, number one. He says, about this ayah, remember me and I will remember you, and don't be ungrateful, and be grateful, and don't be ungrateful. He says about this ayah, when an unbeliever remembers him with unbelief. So if you remember Allah with unbelief, right? So think about this. This is what he puts. So this is, you're talking about 1,000 years ago. But they identified these points. When he remembers, an unbeliever remembers him with unbelief and like ostentatiousness, he remembers him with unbelief and punishment and acquittal. So that's what happens. And you see that. See people who go into this, they have all these problems inside of self. If you don't have belief in this world, it won't make any sense. It won't make any sense. Death doesn't make any sense. Why does this gotta happen? Why do, what's some of the quotes that happen? Why do bad things happen to good people? Right? All these different things that start happening. It won't make sense because this is a temporary journey. If you don't have faith in this journey, it's going to be a rough one. And you're not hitting the point. Number two, he says when a wicked person remembers him with wickedness and heedlessness, he remembers the wicked person with rejection and also to punishment. So when you see this tyrant and all this, that's what they say, there's this tyrant, well, he remembers them with wickedness. And then we speak bad about them, we say bad things about them, we don't uphold them. Sometimes when they die, we pull the body out. They don't even care. We see how it manifests. Now take a look at this one. He said, when a sinner remembers sin by confessing his sin, he remembers the sinner by concealing them from exposure and pardoning them. Subtle points of where your intention is and where your reflection is. Another one. When a repentant, so now the sinner is now somebody has to go towards repentance. They're not just sinning when they feel something regretful, they're in that sin. Now they're going to repentance. Now they're making the move, they're making the turn. They're making the turn, they're trying to go forward. So he says, when a repentant remembers him with repentance, he remembers the repentant with acceptance and now a different level of forgiveness. And then he says, when a believer remembers him with faith, so this is what, if you remember somebody with faith, if you remember Allah with faith, and you do things with faith, he says, when a believer remembers him with faith, then he remembers the believer with mercy and good pleasure. And Rahmah takes many forms. And he says, when a person is practicing upon excellence and really realizing, like worshiping Allah as if he sees them, he says, when a person does that, he raises the veil for him so that he might see him in everything that he does. It's a really high maqam, really high station. Right? But this is the levels of when you begin to actually reflect and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that starts to manifest. So that's why I want to mention that, is because if you're doing sin, the heedlessness is going to begin to manifest at some point. It's going to hurt you, and Allah's going to call you back, though. He's going to call you back and it's going to hurt you. That's what's going to end up happening. And we all fall into this, whether it be me here on the minbar, anyway, we all fall into this at some point, but it's about the turn that you make. It's about the turn that you make, and then be willing to remember Allah with faith, with these actions, salah, all these different things, changes everything and begins to unveil different things in your life and leads to the realization and the success that you're looking for. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, truly by the time the human being is in the state of loss, except those who believe and do righteous good deeds and counsel each other with truth and counsel each other with patience. So going forward, we're beginning to center our intention. And inside of the intention, attaching it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then understanding through the different levels of how we remember Allah within our lives, especially within our intention, are going to ultimately be part of the process that unfolds to you in your life. This is what happens. And it doesn't just go by materialism, like, if you have a good intention that you're going to get exactly everything that you want in your ideas, sometimes in our own mind. And sometimes the subtlety of the ego is there. But you will get what is ultimately good for you. And if you open up your heart to that, then it's all there. It's all there. It's all there. That's all I can tell you, because that's faith. That's something you have to experience. It can't be put. But what I want to tell you is this. Is in this, there's a subtlety also to remember. This year for your intention, inshallah ta'ala, there's a couple things that I just want to say before I conclude. Is number one, seek out in everything that you do to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to get a deeper understanding of Allah. It doesn't have to come through a formal class, but you should take a formal class. It doesn't have to come through that you're sitting in front of a shaykh at that time, that it just comes through that. It comes through just experience. It comes through actually, Ya Allah, I give this sadaqah to draw closer to you and to get a better understanding of you. Ya Allah, I smile at this individual because you have commanded this, and not only do I want to extend peace to that individual, but I would like to give experience of your peace, Ya Allah. It comes through these subtle things. And so what happens in that when a person is on the path to a path of, this is like a path of knowledge. What happens is that the Prophet said a beautiful thing. He said, whoever travels the path seeking knowledge, Allah makes easy for him the path to paradise. Angels lower their wings for the seeker of knowledge out of pleasure of what he seeks. Those in the heavens and the earth, and the very fish in the water, ask to forgive the person endowed with such knowledge. So this is just one of those realities that begins to happen. So not only does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you through the creation, everything around you begins to change. That's one of the beautiful things that I want you to remember. Now going forward into this Gregorian calendar year, this time frame, right? There's a couple things inshallah ta'ala just to realize this step towards full intention. Number one, realizing la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Everything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number one. Very, very simple in statement, different in action. To really realize this in the moment. But sometimes when somebody's yelling at you, when you've done something wrong and you have to address that, to actually lower your ego and say, you know what? Let me approach this properly. Allah's trying to teach me something. That takes a difference. Number two, making dua to Allah for security in your life. Number one, first and foremost, realizing la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and actually asking Allah for sincerity. Because it's only Him that's going to give it to you. So number two. Number three, inspecting your intentions, having vigilance over your intentions. Before you go into something, state your intention. What is it? What is it about? What's the purpose? And begin to actually look at the intention and go higher. If it is, I'm just trying to get this job because I just want to make some money and do this, go higher than that. Begin to go higher because, maybe Allah gives you the money. And if Allah doesn't put barakah in the money, then it becomes a problem. Because you're just actually taking the money as its own power. It's a creation of Allah. So if He puts barakah in it, then it's different. If Allah takes over the situation for you, it's totally different. Right? So we want to get out of that state. We want to look towards higher things. Number four, removing yourself from doubtful or wrong actions. Beginning the process of things that are doubtful and specifically definitely wrong. Because they will lead to what? Heedlessness. And you won't have that direction inside of yourself. That's where will start happening. You'll be in a state of heedlessness and you won't have that direction inside yourself. Number five, surrounding yourself with sincere people. We all make mistakes. We make some of the biggest ones. Beginning to surround yourself with sincere people, though. Whatever mistake you made, leave that at the door. And begin to be in the company of people who are going to help change the fragrance of you. Like the Prophet said, a good person is like a person with musk. Like they give off this fragrance, and if they're touching you, like it rubs off on you. So you want to change yourself. Be around sincere people. Be around people who, many great people of Allah, they went through some of the worst things. You wouldn't even, in certain stages, you wouldn't even look at them as guides. But they got to a certain point because they realized something. And take benefit from that. Number six, beginning to do good deeds. To make a regular intention to do something good every day, even if it's just for, like, very intentional. Begin. That will help you purify the intention. Be very intentional with it. Today, I'm not just going to read Quran, but I'm going to put it into action and interact with somebody with it. Take it to the next step. And then last, look past just the reward. Look towards Allah, the one who made the reward. You'll find even more. Look past just the reward. Look to the one who created the reward. Look past the reward. Look to the one who created the reward. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين وصل على سيدنا محمد في المرسلين وصل على سيدنا محمد في الملائكة الأعلى إلى يوم الدين اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من لديك برك ربنا وطالب اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمسلمين والمسلمات والمحسنين والمحسنات الأحياء منهم والأموات سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين وقم الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Inshallah ta'ala, straighten the lines. Please, anybody with children, we can hold them close. Inshallah ta'ala, straighten the gaps. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبده ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبده لكم دينكم ولي دين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you for coming. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your worship, allow you to draw closer to Him, and bless you in everything, and cover all our faults, and inshallah ta'ala heal our sicknesses. Alhamdulillah, as you see, there's a project going on, inshallah ta'ala, that is going out for the actual parking lot on the left side over here. You see that the other one was actually completed. Inshallah ta'ala, this will help out, especially during rainy days and all other types of days, to help facilitate a little bit of cleanliness on the car, but also to ease and not training and everything. So we need your help, inshallah ta'ala. That's basically what I'm saying. So we need your help in constructing that. So please donate generously out there on the kiosk. Also, too, you can look on our website. You can donate. Please talk to others because this is a really important project, especially to the safety of others as well. Inshallah ta'ala. Please help us with that. Also, too, we have Brother Sulaiman Muhammad Sabreen. SubhanAllah, he died in Sweden. So, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to make Fatiha for him after. And anybody else who is actually sick or anything, one of the beautiful things that is Fatiha is like a universal healing and a universal dua that we can utilize. It's not just, it's a Quranic ayah, but also it can be utilized as dua. So please utilize it frequently, inshallah ta'ala, when you find struggles within your life, when you find sickness, when you find any type of difficulty or to bring in ease, inshallah ta'ala, please utilize Fatiha as much as possible, inshallah ta'ala. So inshallah, we're going to make Fatiha together, inshallah ta'ala, for the cure and the success of everybody here, and also to any other issues that you may be going through. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. And if you have any questions or anything, please inshallah ta'ala go to the admin out there on the hall. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. No problem. Thank you.